Hi there, I'm Arnie Meyer. I'm the community strategist at Naughty Dog. We're here showing off The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3, and you're checking out Evolve TV. The Last of Us, pretty much what we've always done at Naughty Dog is really create this sort of linear narrative. So there is a set story that we're trying to tell. As you play through the character development, the major story beats are going to be the same because it is the story that our creative director Neil Druckmann has decided to create. So a couple of things that makes The Last of Us unique in the gameplay format is we're really taking this approach that we're calling survival action. So it's really mixing up different types of combat gameplay depending on whether you're fighting other human survivors or you're going after the infected. Human survivors, the AI is actually really aware of what kind of weapon you have. And what kind of weapon they have and sort of what the balance of power there is. So if, for the humans, if they have a gun and they realize that you don't have a gun, they're going to be a lot more aggressive because they know they have the upper hand, and that can be flipped vice versa. So that really creates interesting strategies when you're fighting human survivors in The Last of Us. And then we've also introduced the infected, and there's different classes of infected, and they all have different things that you have to keep in mind when you're approaching them in a combat scenario. Sometimes you'll run into runners who can see you. They're a little bit weaker, so you can go after them with melee, but they'll tend to attack in groups. They're pretty fast. While on the flip side, there's clickers who can't see you and only make a clicking noise to try to find you, but their hearing's really good. So you'll want to be a little bit more quiet, but you can walk right up to them if they're not clicking and use combat against them. So it's really sort of trying to mix up the different types of combat and forcing you as a player to come up with new strategies to approach them. The Last of Us does take place 20 years after this fungus has decimated civilization. So resources are starting to be scarce because there's not really electricity in most places. Manufacturing doesn't exist. People aren't making goods. They're not making ammunition. So it's going to be really important as you play through the game and you're exploring the environment to scavenge and see what you can pick up. Ammo is going to be specifically scarce because once you use it, there's no more of it, and people really aren't making ammunition. So you really, once you start picking up ammo, you're really going to start thinking, when do you want to use it? What type of threat do you want to actually shoot versus trying to find other ways to attack that lets you conserve ammo. And the same thing goes for scavenging. There's different things that you can scavenge. Sometimes ingredients that can create a first aid kit can also create, let's say, a Molotov cocktail. So you have a choice that you can make to use something for defensive or for offensive. And if you use it to craft a Molotov cocktail, but in the end you're hurt and you need something, you might not have that. So you're really trying to balance what you're trying to find with, what might be coming in the future. Or what you need right now. And it's always really sort of a thinking game the entire time. We're definitely looking at more than 12 hours, maybe 12 to 16 right now is what we're looking at. It really depends on how you play. You can play a little bit slower if you try to approach situations stealthy. If you really want to explore the environment and scavenge, that's going to add more time too. So we're really giving you the flexibility on how much content you can explore. Yeah, so for DLC for The Last of Us, it's also only going to be multiplayer focused. We're not looking at single-player DLC. It's really simple. We wanted to make sure that we could do everything, we could throw everything that we wanted to into the game, and that everything was really at the level of quality that we always want to put in. This is a really ambitious project for us, being new IP, starting a second team out, and so we just really wanted to make sure that by the time we shipped the game, it was exactly what we wanted it to be, and we just realized, a couple more weeks is really going to let us hit exactly what we want the game to end up being.
You know that, right?
After all we've been through, everything that I've done, it can't be for nothing.